This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries. In 1987, 45-year-old Johnny D., a hardworking lumberer and a father, was arrested for the murder of Rhonda Morrison. Despite a lack of evidence and a questionable witness, he was convicted and sent to death row, where he remains today. New information has surfaced suggesting that he may be innocent and the real killer is still at the large. Johnny D., also known as Walter McMillan, was a black man living in a black community in southern Alabama in the city of Monroe, a city where racism is as deeply seated as it can be. Now, the prosecution's case relied on a singular eyewitness testimony. That witness has just recanted in a new trial, saying that the police forced him to say what they wanted in order to frame an innocent man. The local restaurant owner claims that Johnny D. was at his restaurant eating fish fry. New evidence has surfaced. The laundromat where Rhonda Morrison was murdered, the owner claims that he found Rhonda face down, not face up, like the eyewitness testified. One may be left with many unresolved questions while following this case, such as, who is the real killer if Johnny D. is not? Did police force a testimony to close this case quickly? And can Johnny D. be exonerated before his time runs out? Tonight, Johnny D. sits on death row, maintaining innocence. Was he the victim of a rushed investigation or a grievous miscarriage of justice? If you have any information, please contact the authorities. Your call could save a man's life. When 38-year-old Minnie Wright strangled her husband, she pleaded it was self-defense after years of domestic abuse. With no witnesses and no proof, the case was weak. Ultimately, the jury found her not guilty due to lack of evidence. But still, some today believe Minnie got away with murder, while others believe she survived a nightmare. Friends of Minnie Wright, such as Mrs. Hale, found that Mr. Wright was prone to anger. When police found John dead in bed, his wife claimed she's a heavy sleeper and didn't wake up to John being strangled. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle. The rope seemed to have come from the Wright's barn. However, new evidence shows broken jars, a strangled canary in a cage with a broken hinge, and a quilt with a strange pattern on it. When left with cases like these swimming in our heads, we were often left with unresolved questions, such as, was Minnie acting in self-defense against years of hidden abuse? Or did she plan the murder and stage the aftermath of shock? And what really happened in that room that night? Some believe that Minnie Wright escaped the grip of an abusive marriage. Others believe she escaped justice. What truly happened that night might be never explained or known, unless someone holds the missing piece. For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery. Christmas is a season of mercy, forgiveness, and hope. But for some, it is also a reminder of justice denied. Tonight, we revisit a case that continues to haunt those who witnessed it, an execution of a man who many believed should have never died. In 1986, Herbert Richardson, a Vietnam War veteran suffering from severe PTSD, was executed for a crime that left a young girl dead. Herb never denied responsibility for the tragedy, but questions remain about whether the state truly understood who Herb was, what he had endured, and whether his execution served justice, or silenced a man who needed help, not death. At Christmas time, as families gathered and lights filled the streets, Herb waited alone in a prison cell, his final days marked not by celebration, but by reflection, regret, and unanswered questions. Herb Richardson returned from Vietnam deeply traumatized, experiencing hallucinations, paranoia, and emotional instability. On the day of the crime, Herb believed he was carrying out a harmless act meant to scare, not kill. The homemade device he constructed detonated unexpectedly, killing a young girl and devastating an entire community. During his trial, no mental health experts testified on Herb's behalf. The PTSD was never fully explained to the jury. His defense attorney failed to investigate his military records, combat trauma, or psychiatric history. Years later, attorney Brian Stevenson uncovered extensive evidence showing Herb's severe mental illness, evidence that was never presented before the jury but sentenced him to death. Former prison staff recall that during December, Herb became quieter, withdrawn, but gentle. He gave away his few possessions to other interns. He spoke often about wanting forgiveness, not freedom. On Christmas Eve, he only asked for a Bible and to speak with the chaplain. One guard later said he didn't feel like a monster. He felt like someone who was broken. Should severe, untreated PTSD have exempted Herb Richardson from the death penalty? Did the justice system confuse accountability with vengeance? And if Herb had been given treatment instead of execution, could this tragedy have ended differently for everyone? On Christmas Day, many believe in second chances. But for Herbert Richardson, mercy came too late. His execution raises a troubling question. When the system fails to understand the wounded, who truly pays the price? For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth. And sometimes, the greatest mystery is whether justice was ever served at all.